I would say I love you, but you're kind of giving me the shits this patch. Whatever reagents must be procured or spells invoked, I'll do it. Ah. I admire your spirit. I don't. Presumptuous. Very well, your first task will be to gather the necessary materials. The purest of waters and finest of clays. There's a fey lantern brimming with pixie magic. Oh my god, we're gonna make a poxy. We're gonna make like a poxy prime. If you're convinced the resulting familiar could help the patients, fine. Out for now, the water and clay will be simple enough, but I think you know what we'll have to do to get the lantern. You don't mean... The pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them, our company, I'm sure they'll be willing to help us. Fine. We'll pay a visit to Ilmeg, though I never thought you would be the one to suggest going back there. I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Fey folk. While you're about it, seek out the Numo of Pla Ani. They'll be able to supply you with water suitable for our needs. Right, let's get this over with, shall we? Yeah, that does really piss me off. There still remains the matter of the clay. Might I prevail upon you to find it? You know, in instances like that, it would be nice to have like a dialogue option to be like, actually, Alize, shut the fuck up, I want to hear the metaphysics. You know what I mean? Or at least an option to like speak to this guy, like we could speak to like you can speak to certain NPCs throughout the MSQ and get like a little bit of side information, right? Yeah, Emmett. Yeah, there were plenty of instances we could do that with Emmett. I mean, maybe we can do it with this guy. We'll see, I guess. Clay from Amarang would likely be best. Know of anyone who might be able to assist us? Probably the miners at Twine, yeah. Ah, yes, they'll be able to point you in the right direction, I'm sure. While you and the twins are occupied, I will see if there's aught else I can learn of the stagnation which afflicts the people here. I'm no doubt the miners are... yes, yeah, they're not going to tell me anything. Fuck, that's annoying. Yeah, Emmett, I'd say is probably the best. Emmett and, Eric would be the two best examples. Ah, but that's so annoying. They do that so often as well. Where some NPC is like, ah, we don't need the details. Don't bore us. The Warrior Light has no interest in lore. You know, Calhire as well. Yeah, he's another good example. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could have a an instance like that. Calhire is a hassle to talk to. Why do you say that? Yeah, it's basically like Koji and or Oda just hand waving and being like, don't make me do this, don't make me come up with an explanation. Whereas I'm over here like, bruh. I studied metaphysics for years. I could hook you up. If you guys are not confident with explaining the finer points of substance dualism and, you know, coloring within the lines for that, like, hook me up, yo. Give me a job. Invent a job for a philosophy graduate in 2019. Someone will give you like a Nobel Prize for that. Is they even trying to hide it? Oh, really? Interesting. I can't stop thinking about the giant Talos we built. Can you imagine what it would do with a matching trolley? It's like wasting out to build one. I love him. I do remember. Full page on currency? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Ethys, what a coincidence. You've come at a good time. We just this moment finished repairing the Talos and trolley you lot took to Nabatha rang. The trolley was no trouble, but the Talos would have been another matter had we not had a visit from Master Chai. Oh, fucking finally, he's taking responsibility for himself. He offered us a share of the leftover building materials from Talos, as well as a few trade secrets to help us along. Again, finally. Clever man, that Chai-Nuzz. He seemed pretty keen on the ideas I have for putting the giant Talos like that. Like a giant trolley! But Magnus still refuses to see all the good we can do with it. You're entitled to your dreams, Chet, but that doesn't mean you can go harassing our guests with them. Master Chai was just being polite. And something tells me Ethys here did not come all the way to talk about trolleys. What is it you need, friend? This guy's gonna end up summoning Doom Train? Oh, I hope so. Doom Trolley. I see, and this familiar requires clay from Amirang. Well, look no further. If anyone can find some quality clay, it's us. Jade isn't exactly a commodity nowadays. There must be some lurking somewhere or other waiting to be dug up. Mate, the whole fucking zone's made out of clay. We're standing on it. If I'm not mistaken, there was a time they used to take clay from Mount Biran mines to make adobe bricks. Place is swarming with coyotes now, but if you're after the good stuff, you could do worse than to look there. You know what, Jack? I do agree. I definitely agree. I don't need an excuse to come and visit you. Magnus, I kind of do. No offense, but this is kind of a shithole. I feel like I kind of do need an excuse to come and visit you. How long have I been on? 2 hours. I've been live for 2 hours. So, we were going for a while yet. The most depressing map in Final Fantasy XIV? I think it's beautiful. I love it. It is like a little bit kind of desolate and depressing, but I think it's awesome. Oh, here we go. Okay, finally grained soil, material found in Amarang. Okay. One more to it. What's this third one? Oh, I'm blind. This Western is most depressing. Yeah, this Western's pretty depressing as well. Get the feeling I'm being on an alien world. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I totally get that. The near raid is an hour long. We'll probably have time to do the near raid today. Depends on how many wipes you get. I think it's been long enough that there probably won't be... Like, it'll probably go pretty smoothly. Like, it'll be my first time I'll be going in blind, but I feel like most people on Elemental, they'll be queuing in have probably done it at least once already. The most depressing zone is Horizon? Nah, come on, you got that giant statue of Lolorito. Like, hell yeah. Pixies were constantly confusing me with Alize. In jest, I assume. I mean, it's not as if we look that much alike. We, don't look that much alike, do we? I mean, they're identical twins, okay? You wear your hair the exact same way. I don't know what you want me to say. It better be the only thing we need from the Pixies. I have to endure one more prank, so help me gods. What was their voice again? The twins have returned, and in one piece at that. I was convinced the Pixies would turn at least one of them into a garden ornament, but no. You have the clay, I take it? Snowman, you have nothing to apologize for. I completely understand, my friends. Wonderful. You need but combine the clay and the water, then heat the mixture with the Fey Lantern. After that, it will be a simple matter of settling upon a suitable form and performing the necessary incantation. Also, it doesn't have to be epoxy, they just decide to make them look like little piggies. Becklug, I have a question. In the event that we had need of this spell and you weren't around, would it be possible for another to perform the incantation? Assuming they possess the requisite skill, yes. Harrick and the others have suffered so much, and I swore to do everything in my power to save them. There's a chance this spell could do that, and I would be the one to invoke it. Psycho Monks, thank you so much for 32 months of tier 3, no less. Wow, that's very generous. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate the support. And I see you there with that Founder's Badge. Thank you. At DZ, 31 months of Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your vacation, and that's fine. I totally understand. I just hope you have fun, my friends. No, but it's great. I'm really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. Oh, of course they're fraternal twins. They can't be identical twins. Yeah, it's like literally. I mean, I guess we don't really know how like conception of twins works in FF14. As soon as you get like anima in the mix there, maybe it's like one anima that splits into two. But by Earth science, you're right. It is literally impossible for them to be identical twins. Well, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, this is kind of like a carbuncle, but it's using clay rather than a crystal. But it's kind of similar. Otherwise, I guess, I suppose. Anyway, clay bunkle. That's the one.
Mayhap you should be the one to do so. A deep understanding of the subject's physical state combined with a strong desire to help them can drastically increase the magic's effect. You're plainly more familiar with these people than I.
I dare say there are few in all of Novrant more dedicated to finding a cure. Is that not so, Ethys? Absolutely. She's the best woman for the job. Give it my all. Howrick. Tesleen.
Then we are all of a mind on the matter. Alize shall be the one to conjure the familiar.
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay? Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. Plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
I was saying, like, does it gotta be a porksy?
Porksy. I think I know what you mean.
I really want Alizé to make some kind of like horrible, like second grade craft project porksy abomination.
There we are. How's that?
Oh god, she did it! She did it! Oh, Alizé! You are redeemed!
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
Everything is forgiven, Alizé. Let my character's like, look at me.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Please, can we use that?
Pay him no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
I really hope that it's gonna look like that once it's animated. Please.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the porksy's image steady in your mind's eye.
Well, if that's the only thing that matters, isn't like actually forming the clay redundant. God, I really
Now,
hope it actually
as I
looks like
taught
that.
you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
Well, it doesn't need to be a porksy. I think that's what Beklug was implying. Is that Numo really like porksies for some reason? Oh yeah, that's true. Better hope her imagination is better than ours. Or more precise than ours, anyway.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Oh, come on. I wanted it to be...
Not bad for a first attempt.
Oh, I wanted... That's disappointing.
Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric.
The devs are cowards, aren't they? Fucking cowards. It would have been way cuter if it actually looked like the clay sculpture.
Through the operation
That's
of the
true,
magics
Matthias.
you invoked
That is
to
very true.
animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
What is it actually gonna do? I'm just like... Oh, I don't want to think about that, actually. Never mind.
All right, I've decided. Now.
Tesaline? Oh, come on! No!
Go, Angelo!
Angela. Oh.
I...
Oh, man, when I saw his tears there, I immediately just thought of the light like seeping out of Tesline's eyes, and that like actually made me flinch for a second.
The girl's resolve is quite impressive. One might almost think she drew strength from another.
Man, they're really like leaning super heavy on Alize being in love with the Warrior of Light at the moment, aren't they?
By the 12.
Oh, it's only for a moment he spoke.
There may yet be hope for these people.
I know Angela from Final Fantasy VIII. It's a fun reference. How is he, Beklug? Did it work?
I believe it did. You and your fledgling familiar have done well. My eyes do not deceive. A hint of color has returned to his soul.
Gods. Jump for joy if I weren't so exhausted. We're so close now, Ulrich.
As you are, even now, in the process of discovering, this magic asks much of the invoker. But you may not have realized that the same is also true of the subject. As such, we must proceed with caution. However, with further treatment, I have the utmost confidence the boy will make a full recovery. Observing the reanimation of his stagnant soul has been most enlightening. I'll need time to put my theories to the proof, but I believe I can fashion a spell to produce the opposite effect. That is, to induce stagnation.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so to be able to transport their souls. Oh, okay. So the problem with White Auracite, right, is that it can't contain a soul for very long because the ether is moving. And a White Auracite is very porous. In like a metaphysical sense. It's like a sponge. So if you turn the ether of the soul that's being put in the White Auracite to the extreme umbral state, it will remain still. It won't move. It won't bleed out. It makes sense. Yeah. So okay, it's come together now. Right. There's so many things that can go wrong with this. Like wetting a sponge and freezing it. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that cool? Ah. Alright, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Thus enabling our safe transport back to the source via Auracite. A thought occurred to me about this treatment. Beklug said when the soul is rendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body. The person becomes incapable of interacting with the world around them. It's true. Does that not sound a lot like some of the tempered back in the source? Oh shit! Oh shit! Not really. It's the fate of most tempered to become slaves to primals, save in a handful of cases. Or am I missing something? Yeah, shut up, Alphino. If I can master this technique, the art of revitalizing the soul, I know of at least one in the source who could desperately use such treatment. I wonder if that's what tempering is, if it is just like aligning their soul heavily to umbral but of a certain elemental aspect, so that the primal can basically like puppeteer the person. Well, they do supercharge a person's ether towards a specific element. We understood that. Like, particularly with Leviathan, the drowned, you see the people that are tempered by Leviathan take on these kind of like fishy aspects over time, because they've been supercharged towards water. I didn't think the polarity was a fact that was important, but if they're all also heavily towards the umbral pole, the light pole, then it would give us an explanation for basically what Alizé's talking about here. But if a primal is an aspect of anything, well, it seems that tempering might still be an ability through which they affect a person's polarity, whether or not they're aspected to a particular element or a particular pole themselves. Polarity was understood. It's just the association of Astral and Umbra with light and darkness they had backwards. But polarity was understood. Polarity is quite well understood. You know, at least by the experts in Charlene. It's obviously not understood. Like, nothing about etherology is understood by, you know, ordinary people, really. Primal can't be summoned without an aspect. Of course it can. Yeah. Yeah, it can. Basically, it's just easier to summon a primal with an aspect because in like a particular area, you will find you know, particular elemental leaning, an abundance of a certain type of crystals of a particular element. That's just the way it tends to go, but it's not always the case. Like Bahamut, for instance, does not have an elemental aspect, like a particular elemental leaning. His magics are very like astrally charged. The calamity that he caused was very much an astral calamity, but not a particular element. And Odin, again, Odin's kind of the same. And we've had plenty of primals that have had like multiple elemental aspects. Some that have had just one, and yeah, Shinria was another, didn't really have an elemental leaning. Yeah, basically what Matthias said. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Gabu. Exactly. His condition is uncannily similar to Halric's, is it not? The only difference being that his soul is suffused with earth aspected ether instead of light. Or as if his soul is subject to a similar kind of stagnation, maybe a chance we can save him, right? Right, so it might not even necessarily be a polarity thing, it might just be polarity and or element. Again, kind of like how the calamities work. Like you can have a calamity of a polar leaning or a calamity of an aspect leaning. Again, like, once you start taking polarity into consideration, the ethereal wheel just becomes an ethereal sphere, if that makes sense. With the basically light and darkness, astral and umbral being on the x-axis.
Forgive me, but who is this Gabu fellow of whom you speak? I see. This condition does sound similar. Yet there is much and more about the soul that remains unknown even to me. I say it's not to discourage you, you understand, but to remind you that this is delicate work we do here, work requiring patience.
Of course. And as long as there is hope for the patients here, I'll devote whatever time is needed to see this through. But I refuse to spend that time in idleness. Same to you. I'd like to stay here with Angelo and continue with their treatment. The two of you should return to the Crystarium with Beck Lug. See if you can't make some headway with their newly posited theories. There's a neutral plane between astral and umbral. Yeah. Basically, halfway between astral and umbral, if it's not leaning towards one pole or the other, you would call that neutral or balanced. In the same way, ether that is, again, if you think of the ethereal wheel, ether that is not leaning towards any particular element heavily, you would consider in like the sort of like inner circle as neutrally aspected or unaspected.
I would tell you to rest first, but I see you're not to be convinced. The fire of youth.
Just return to the Crystarium then. Oh, who's this? Oh, it's old mate. Kai Shear? What are you doing all the way out here?
It's trouble back in Yulmore. Lady Chai is beside herself. Sighing, pacing, the whole lot. Near enough begged me to go and find you.
Sighing and pacing, you say? It must be urgent.
I take it I'll be returning to the Crystarium alone. Go on then, it's not as if I have anything for you to do.
Thank you, Becklug. You mean to ask what an over-aspected crystal is? Basically, if a crystal leans like so far to a certain element that it becomes unstable. It's basically like, imagine you fill a glass bottle full of water, right? Like all the way up, and then you freeze it. It expands, and the glass starts to crack. It's kind of like that. But rather than water, it's an element, and the glass is a crystal. Does that make sense? That's basically how I understand over-aspected crystals. What's all the crystals erupting out of the ground after the Bahamut calamity? That is an over-aspect into astral ether. So astral ether associated with darkness is basically the opposite. Okay, so umbral ether, light ether is stagnant, stops moving, right? Astral ether, if it's like leaning all the way towards the astral pole, it explodes outwards. It can't be contained. It moves too fast. It breaks free of whatever it's imbued in, whatever it's possessed of. So that's what happened to the void. Big astral event. Everything blew up, all the ether basically blew into a vacuum, and all those explosions of crystals and stuff coming out of the ground during the seventh calamity, that was exactly the same. It was the land becoming supercharged to astral, and all the ether sort of trying to escape and, you know, spiking out in these talons. Dalamud's talons, we call it. Does that make sense? Anyway, apologies, anyone here or on YouTube for that very, very long sidebar about, ethereal metaphysics and etherology, but it seemed like a good time to take a sidebar, I think, right? No? Just me? Okay. Well, we'll get on with it now, I promise. Let's get on with it.
Sorry for bothering all that, but she says the future of Yulmore's at stake.
Ruh-roh. Okay. Future of Yulmore is at stake, is it? Well, do for them what you can, but keep an eye on Alphinaud, would you? See to it he doesn't involve himself more than is necessary. And Lester, thank you very much for that sub, I appreciate it. The lengthy tangents of why we're here. I hope so. You guys know what I'm about by now. When I'll be streaming again? Angrek, I will be streaming tomorrow. Around this time. I'll be starting around the same time, so like 3 hours ago. So, yeah, drop in tomorrow. And we'll have a talk about the Neo Raid then. Whatever could be so urgent for Lady Chai to summon us thus? I intend to, Duskcaller. Oh, thank you, Lestat. That's, that's kind of you. Lady Chai's up in the parlour. Best not keep her waiting, eh? You come back to Alizé later. She explains the whole Angelo thing. Okay, I will. I'll definitely do that. Thank you, Matthias. I will 100% be all about that. Wow, this is a pretty productive patch lore-wise so far, isn't it? It was the folks over at Crystarium who told me he'd be down at Journey's Head. Lucky for me, he's still there, running around after people's tiring work. Yeah, no shit. Well, Naughty seems out of the ordinary. Not to see Lady Chai anywhere. Probably pacing around outside again, staring off at the distance and all that. Sighing. Strange. See if we can find her and discover the source of her distress. Yeah, I'll talk to Halric then as well. I'll talk to them both. I will absolutely be finishing the 5.1 story tonight. And no Chavez, I haven't. Not yet. I haven't done anything else yet. Oh god. That face.
Oh, thank heavens you're here.
He's literally just a giant Lalafell.
Whatever is the matter?
I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
She's not my cat, Mum.
That is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Golg. With Lord Vorthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility.
Oh, you poor things. Oh, it's so hard for you.
Nevertheless, Yulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
Yeah, wow. The surprise. Chai-Nuzz running from responsibility.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice.
proving himself a Daedalus Stoneways. He literally fucked like every other industry in Novrant. When he decided to not pass on any of that knowledge or technology, or I just
Indeed. I told you
heckin'
as
Chai-Nuzz,
much when
dude.
his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
I still think they should both be in prison.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
Alphino has not been paying attention.
You truly think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
I don't really care. I think he's fled.
Nay, my friend. The one thing he has not done is flee. Of that I am convinced. Through the most testing of times, he has ever remained at Lady Chai's side, placing her happiness before his own. He would not abandon her now.
Alphino has been spending way too much time in Yulmore.
Rest assured we will find him.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
Oh, I saw it, Matthias. That is a fun fact. Is my faith? Faith is something that has to be earned. My character freaks you out, really? You know, Yulmore was nothing like I thought it would be. Somehow I can't picture going anywhere else. Chai's a part of it, I suppose. They've been good to me. They tried to kill you. Okay. Alright. It makes no sense for Master Chai to have left without a word. And if he had, not have done so unobserved. Someone here will have seen something, I'm sure of it. We should split up and inquire as to whether anyone saw him leave, or failing that, if they have any idea where he might have gone. I'll meet you at the Glory Gates to compare notes later on. Ah, yeah, that's right. It was Tristal they threw out. They had thrown out a window. Yeah. It was mostly Vothri there with Kai-Shi, but still, man. Master Chai? Ah, yes, I spoke with him recently, though I recall he was in a rather dour mood. Oh my god, that was loud. Concerned about Yulmore's neglect of industry, you see. With Lord Vothri's apparently inexhaustible stores of meal and no great need for money, it's little wonder our businesses were all but forgotten under his rule. But I assured Master Chai that the Boutique of Splendors will do all it can to contribute to the revival of trade here in Yulmore. It seemed to satisfy him. He took his leave soon after. Interesting. Beginning of the day, Newmore's panic-inducing. It really is. Like, that fanfare is just like, whoa! Alright, I'm awake! It's morning! Okay! Stop yelling at me, BGM! So I went the wrong way. Well, Lahi isn't quite as loud, is it? Am I going the wrong way? No, I'm not. Okay. Looking for Master Chai, are you? Is something amiss? And last I saw him, he seemed ready to collapse from exhaustion. I insisted he rest and catch his breath, and we talked for a while. I was concerned over the city's defenses, amongst other things. He made more than a few valid points. Many of our men are still recovering after your confrontation with Lord Vothri, and finding General Ranjit in a heap in the middle of the plaza shook us all to the core. I had commanded no small amount of loyalty, and some of our longer-serving soldiers seemed lost without him. Indeed, a number of them left. Not that we blame you, of course. Without you and yours, we'd still be blind to the error of our ways. Anyway, funding permitting, I propose replenishing our ranks with volunteers from the derelicts in Gate Town. Well, volunteers. You're not going to employ them. Well, some things never change. We have a duty to protect not only Yulmore, you see, but the surrounding regions of Kalusia as well. I, for one, would welcome any man or woman willing to take up arms for that cause. Indeed, I told him as much, and he seemed relieved to hear it. On that note, that we parted ways. Headed outside, as I recall. I mean, volunteers in volunteer army versus conscription. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really ready to give Yulmore the benefit of the doubt. I recall a man fitting that description. I suspect with the poor buggers lately come from right. Said he wanted to know the state of things down the derelicts. You can be sure we gave him an earful. Lack of food, medicine, clothing. I couldn't see that happen, but it was plenty to tell. We aren't iron low for whatever we can scavenge. It's barely enough to fill our bellies. Faith, you don't just want to survive, they want to thrive. We heard that. He started mumbling to himself, something about finding us work, I think. Fair play to him, though. Not content with having his ear chewed about the derelicts, he asked about the other settlements and all. After that, I can't really say. Looked like he was headed for Gate Town when I last saw him. They did mention funding. I assume that was funding for, like, arming them? You know? Not for, paying them so much. Yulmore suffers from video game story pacing. It seems that way, doesn't it? Any luck? I got nowhere myself, but it sounds like Alphino might have. Ah, there you are. How'd you fare? Have you learned anything which might offer a clue as to Master Chai's whereabouts? Oh, did Twitch make you watch an ad, Jeff? I'm sorry about that. Interesting. He apparently paid a visit to the Queen Bee as well. Focusing more on rebuilding Yulmore than we did Ishgard. Well, remember that Ishgard had a 6-week time lapse in 3.3? The end of 3.3? And we're going back for Ishgard Restoration now, so, you know, there's that. They discussed the possibility of granting admission to customers from outside Yulmore, an idea to which the proprietor was surprisingly receptive. Sounds like he's got big plans for the place. Yulmore, I mean, not the bee. Perhaps. The question remains, Where did he go after leaving the city? Thank you, Lestat. It didn't take long for folks to start moaning after Vorfrey left. Oh, now everyone in Yulmore's got something to complain about. Wouldn't want to be in Master Chai's shoes, having to keep that lot happy. Well, I imagine they're quite fussy. All we know for certain is that Master Chai has shown great concern not only for Yulmore, but its surrounding settlements. Seems logical then that having consulted those within the city walls, he would wish to do the same for those without. Ethys, if you would go and make inquiries in Right, I shall do likewise in Stiltide. Cape Town I leave to you, Kaishir. Fair enough. Where should we meet when we've finished? Well, top rung, it would seem to me, is next most likely destination. Let us reconvene there. With any luck, one of us will have stumbled upon him by then, but if not, we'll be well situated to continue our search. That's true, says Law. Ishgard did have infrastructure as well as industry, which Yulmore was basically abandoned for the last 20 years. You can actually find them in those areas if you check first. Oh, really? Do they have anything to say? Can't imagine they're gonna have anything like particularly interesting to say. Nothing interesting? Okay, never mind then. Never mind. You can't see them farming much in this industry. Well, Wright is getting its brewing industry back up and running. I'm doing good, Void. I'm doing great. How are you? Hello, Hastillo. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. There was a rather dapper-looking Mistel gentleman here not long ago. He wanted to talk about relations between Wright and Yulmore, or rather the lack of them. We lost a great many people to their promises of meal and the chance of a lavish life among the free. Vorfrey thought to take even more from us, conscripting the few able-bodied men we had left to guard his paradise. Didn't tell you what happened when the Sin Eaters came. Those things are hard to forgive. But Vorfrey's gone now. We're curious to see what will become of Yulmore in his absence. What I told your friend. Chai-Nuzz, was it? And I'm sure the others said the same. Not what he wanted to hear, I suppose, because he left soon after, and that was that. North Africa is the breadbasket of the Romans. Yeah, I mean, like, we grow plenty of shit in Australia. Australia is 99% desert. Hey, Pardon Fanboy, thank you so much for the host. How you doing? Turns out Master Chai was over in Gatetown too. He spoke to a few of the residents apparently. They told me they'd never seen a posh bloke that was so miserable. So he paid a visit to both Rice and Gatetown as well, did he? I see. Sheer and I gleaned much the same. Seems determined to salvage what goodwill might yet remain among the settlements of Kalusia. The only likely place he has left to go being Amity. Come, if we are quick, we may yet catch up with him. can eat the Talos. I mean, they can try. There he is. There's old mate. Hi, Huvak.
Ethys, Alphino, Kaishir, what are you doing here?
Might ask you the same, Master Chai. Been looking all over for you.
Looking for me? Whatever for?
Lady Chai has been nigh inconsolable in your absence. She claims you disappeared without so much as a word and bade us return you to her side.
What in blazes are you talking about? I left a letter for her in our chambers. I suppose she could have overlooked it. And when she gets an idea into her head, I can only apologize.
No harm done, Master Chai. But since we are here, might I ask what compelled you to come all this way? We were told you had been elected mayor, and from what we have gathered from the nearby villages, you've been inquiring about the people's grievances. Safe to assume you mean to take office?
Now, let's not jump to conclusions. I did seek to learn about the problems faced by the people of Kalusia, that much is true. I'm by no means sure I am the man to solve them. Tackling our many challenges will require resources, and until I've secured them, it would not be right to assume the role of mayor.
I see. You believe said resources can be found here?
Indeed. The people's grievances are many, but in the course of my inquiries, I've already met with several individuals willing to lend their aid in addressing them. However, there remains one individual crucial to my plans, and whose counsel might yet make a mayor of me.
With respect, such forethought is in itself proof of your suitability. The city needs you, Master Chai, and I'm certain this man of whom you speak, whoever he may be, will reach the same conclusion. What little it is worth, we will vouch for you should he require convincing. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I'm wearing the Eden gear. I'm wearing the Eden Savage gear. Dyed the chests metallic blue.
I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. You've got your actions to speak for you. Like 9, Huvak. As long as I can remember, all I ever wanted was some mate in the Yulmore. That dream's gone now, burst like a bubble. Or a boil, more like. Anyway, outside of repaying Master Alpha now, I haven't had a clue what to do with myself. Spent most days in a daze. But you've been running up and down trying to find a way to fix this mess for everyone. And I reckon you can do it. You've got this lot up Mount Gold, didn't you? How hard could marrying be? You're going to steer you more to a better future, I know it. And I want to help, properly help. Do something that makes a difference. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll work it out on the way. If you let me come with you, that is.
Who are you again? You give me entirely too much credit, the lot of you. I can't deny it gives me heart. Come then, let us press on together.
Thank you, Master Chai.
But we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. Yulmore needs more than a man with good intentions. That's why I'm here. Find one with the experience needed to see the city thrive.
Who is this man exactly? Are you certain he's here in Amity?
Rendon is his name, and yes, he is. Or was. I'd scarce have got to explain myself when he decided his time has been spent elsewhere. He served as chief advisor to Vorthry's father when he was in office. If Ranjit was the mayor's right hand, one might say Rendon was the left. Between them, they kept Yulmore on the road to prosperity. The city needs more than a mere man of business. Why, I must find him.
But even if you do, what makes you think he will listen? Before giving chase, might it not be wise to speak with those who know him here in Amity? They may be able to shed some light on his reason for rejecting your overtures out of hand.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Perhaps we should start with Tristol then. As I recall, you made rather favorable impression on him. I'm certain he would be willing to talk with us.
I'd have to guess that Vothri's father's advisor is probably kind of ashamed of where his advising led the city. He was probably like, yeah, go ahead, let Emmett Selk fuck up your wife's baby with a light warden. What could go wrong? Sounds like a great idea. Yeah, you can say something about the Grand Cosmos, Chavez. Yeah. It doesn't involve anything that I haven't seen yet.
I realize it was me who suggested speaking with Tristol, but who's to say he will be any more receptive than Rendon? Why should any of them give me the time of day? There's no way to think. Ignore me.
According to Master Chai, this Rendon fellow occupied a position of considerable influence in the Yulmoran leadership. Begs the question, why did he choose to leave? Well, I reckon Yulmore could learn a thing or two from Amity about standing on its own 2 feet. And again, so could I. Greetings, friend. And to you, Master Chai. I presume you were here to ask after Rendon. Couldn't help overhearing your earlier exchange?
Yes, well, Vothri gone, Yulmore wants for a leader. Should no one rise to the challenge, the city could very well collapse. I came here seeking Rendon's counsel in the hope that we could build a better Yulmore together. And that is still my wish. But given how abominably you were mistreated here, I will quite understand if you choose not to help.
Worry not, Master Chai. I bear no grudge against you or the people of Yulmore, and I would not see you suffer for Vothri's villainy. Fucking had you thrown out of a window like 200 meters. Unbelievable. Yeah, they're vaguely mirrored, aren't they? As you no doubt gathered from your meeting earlier, Rendon can be rather uncompromising. Is his principles, you see. Little patience for anyone he deems less committed to their own. Your desire to right the wrongs of your past, of Yulmore's past, is quite admirable. I fear the guilt you bear on the city's behalf works against you. I can see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself. It goes without saying, he sees it as well. You must let those feelings go, Master Chai. Be more assertive. Commit to this course. And prove to him Yulmore has the resolve to change.
The resolve to change?
I believe he was heading towards Pit 8 when he left. If you plan to go and speak with him, I suggest you be firm and clear in your intentions. The Versailles Palace in France. Yeah, it takes some inspiration from that. Also, it looks a lot like the Winter Palace. And people were saying it was kind of like reminiscent of parts of Buckingham Palace as well. Obviously drawn from like a few different places.
Very well. To Pit 8 we shall go. And I would not take no for an answer, nay, not even a maybe.
I did. Yeah, I took Alvino and Alize. I sure did. Oh shit, he's a Galgant. Interesting. It does, doesn't it?
Well, well, it's you again. Well, I see you've invited your friends. Need them to fight your battles for you, do you?
No, I didn't invite them, as it happens, though they are indeed my friends. Well, not only mine, but every true Yulmoran's. They are the ones who awakened us to the truth, to Lord Vothri's villainy, the famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Vothri. Nay, We must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai.
Your sentiments are admirable, yet admirable sentiments do not a nation make. In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Yulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Vorthri was creating. And so I left my homeland behind.
Oh, interesting. So it wasn't guilt, it was integrity.
But you, Chai-Nuzz, you were content to wallow in indolence under Vorthri's auspices.
True.
And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
I like this guy. I quite like this guy.
I can offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Yulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Yulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. It seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. Secured at the cost of the surrounding villages. Little wonder the people gathered at our doorstep, begging to work among the bonded. The free were blind to it all, of course. Content to, as you say, wallow in indolence. In ignorance. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Vorthri. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive. To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on. But I am no ruler, nor even a politician. I am an entrepreneur. My expertise lie in planning and profit. I haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Yulmore for the people.
A Yulmore for the people. I rather like the sound of that. But before I offer you my counsel, I would be certain of your ability to perform the duties of office.
You would?
No
You
shit.
asked me to help you solve Yulmore's problems. But first, I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.
Chai-Nuzz is like,
But I worked really hard on that speech. I wasn't expecting you would actually want me to do something. I'm running for office, aren't I? Isn't this what what politicians do? No, just me. Oh, alright then.
People cannot be brought together on the strength of high ideals alone. This I know from painful experience. Rendon is right to demand proof of Master Chai's commitment. It remains to be seen if his words would translate into deeds. I shall endeavor to keep an open mind.
Imagine it, a Yulmoren that even a bloke like me could help to build. Right then. Is there a particular issue you would have me resolve?
You seem to have conducted an assessment of the problems Yulmore now faces. I assume you would agree, therefore, that the matter of dwindling food stores is the most pressing. Ah yes, meal being neither a desirable nor a sustainable option, I assume alternative foodstuffs are now required to fill the void. And a man who hungers is not like to contribute much to society. Say violent, perhaps. So tell me, how do you propose to solve this problem? Give me a satisfactory answer and I will consider offering you my counsel.
A combination of measures would seem to be in order. One to address the immediate issue of supply, and another that of production.
Go on.
For the present, Yulmar's coffers can be used to purchase food from our neighbors. It would afford us time to address the underlying problem that affects us all, the long-standing neglect of agriculture. The villages that once served as sources of trade for foodstuffs must be repopulated, and means of production restored. This assumes, of course, that we can rekindle relations with our neighbors, guarantee security and stability in the region, and most importantly, find people willing to leave the city and take up the rebuilding effort.
My. Think of all that by yourself, did you?
Well, yes. Began as a rather abstract plan I drafted some time ago after speaking with the peoples of Yulmore and the nearby settlements.
You've impressed me, Chai-Nuzz.
I have? Well, that is a relief.
Oh, you haven't secured my support just yet. Only my attention. Grand plans will not be enough to persuade the masses. If you'd ask them to rebuild, you must provide them the means to do so.
A fair point, Rendon. And one to which I have given much thought. I propose the use of Talos to aid in the establishment and maintenance of these settlements. Employment should drastically improve efficiency and ultimately increase production.
Talos? But Daedalus Stoneworks closed their doors years ago. Without a ready supply of the necessary equipment, the people would starve before your plans could be put into effect.
Well, as the heir to Daedalus Stoneworks, it just so happens that Talos is my field of expertise. And with a little help, I'm quite certain we can acquire what we need in no time at all.
Oh no, don't look at me. Don't look at me, Chai-Nuzz. Don't look at me, bruh. I have souls to save. Ah, shit, he's looking at me. That Rendon geezer doesn't seem so bad. What was Master Chai worried about? He's got to give himself a bit more credit. Do you see it? There's a fire in Master Chai's eyes that was not there when first we met. A fire we had best kept kindled if we wish to see Yulmore change for the better. You had a hand in constructing that giant Talos to the north, did you not? When the Yulmoran volunteers began arriving, I hid myself away lest I be recognized, thus depriving myself of what I am reliably informed was a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. Bugger. That bugger seemed a little out of character.
Rendon is quite right. Building Talos from scratch will require time we simply do not have.
Well, I mean, there's fucking plenty of them around here. Where are they? Down... Well, You'll have to take my word for it. There's plenty around here.
Which is why I propose to make use of the long-abandoned Talos which wander the wilds of Kalusia. They would need to be deactivated, of course, and if memory serves, the tools required to do so should still be at top rung. Come with me.
Alright. Alright. Hey, this MSQ chapter seems a lot longer than most of the Stormblood ones were, right? Is it just me? I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about that. A little bit more meat and potatoes. There's like ARR length kind of. Yeah, which is great. Really good. So, he's an authority on Talos, is he? Rather surprised as could he be hiding, I wonder.
How'd you catch a Talos then? Dig a hole and lure it in?
I think that could work. This is one thing to repair an immobile Talos as Réanger did, but quite another to catch one, surely. Does it not sound a trifle dangerous? Alphino... You were there when I beat Hades, right? No? Just me? Pretty sure you were there. You were certainly there when I beat Bahamut.
Aha! The old memory hasn't let me down. This chest contains canisters filled with a dashingly potent insulating powder capable of holding the flow of ether in a Talos. We only need... Wait! Why don't we use that on the Scions?
We're gonna fucking use that on the Scions.
We need only get within throwing distance of one and let fly.
Thus disabling them without damaging them.
Genius. Old trick of the trade, nothing more. Once disabled, it should be a simple enough matter to get them to march to Yulmore. More extensive repairs can wait. Ordinarily, this is where I would ask you to run along and do the deed, but as I've said before, it is high time we learn to stand on our own 2 feet.
Oh, thank God.
Thankfully, throwing canisters is something even I should be able to manage.
Come off it, Master Chai. Even if the Talos ain't a threat, there's 101 things out there waiting to make a meal of you.
That's as may be, Kai-Shir. But Rendon tasked me with solving this problem, and I will not sit idly by while others risk everything to see my harebrained schemes realized. Not this time. Isn't to say the mere thought of it doesn't fill me with dread. Truth be told, I can't feel my legs. But if I'm to prove I'm a man worth following, I must lead by example.
Well said, Master Chai. Alright, yeah, go for it. You can't just gas people and put them in your backpack? Of course I can. Doesn't sound like Black Rose. Yeah, maybe like to a less extreme extent.
Yes, well, it should go without saying that I have no intention of dying for this. I've always preferred living to see the fruits of my labors. And to make sure I do, I will require your help. Because as Kai-Shir says, these lands are dangerous if one is not careful. I would ask of you to use my spyglass to look out for any beasts that could get in the way of my work. I would also need you to alert me when it is safe to subdue the Talos. Understood?
It would be so much simpler if you just let me do it myself.
Good. Then let us be off to the quick way through the north gate and see if we can't find a suitable vantage point for you.
Zij, I'm doing this first. We will be doing your har either a little later or mayhap tomorrow. Seeing how we go. When first he arrived, I could barely hear him over the knocking of his knees. Now this. Not sure what's gotten into him, but whatever it is, I like it. No, I haven't caught it. Today, this is the first day I've actually spent in 5.1. I haven't done anything. So, be careful with those spoilerinos, pretty please. There's a point in us both shouting instructions. Keep him safe, Ethys.
Alright, nothing to worry about, just a simple matter of sneaking up on the Talos while avoiding the slavering, bloodthirsty beast lurking behind every rock. Child's play. When you're ready, let us begin. If Master Chai's off his nut, this means more to him than he's been letting on.
I have no doubt that I will enjoy it, Connor. Okay, I can do that. I can certainly do that. Oh my god.
I must be careful.
Is this red light, green light? No! I had to click on him. I clicked on the Talos rather than clicked on him. And I was like, why isn't he doing it? And Chai fucking died, the end. Go, 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 go! Is that it? Is that the whole thing? Oh my god.
I did it! I did it! Let's move on to another Talos, shall we?
The pocket's head. Okay. Yeah. Wow, this is dumb. This is really dumb.
Yeah.
The way he throws. Oh my god.
I do believe I'm getting the hang of this.
You love this instance? This is so stupid.
You may leave the next one to me, Ethys. Aha! That should do it! Now we have all we need to proceed.
So fucking dumb. Would I prefer a kill and collect quest? I don't know. Oh my god. No, this is not my real name. No. Although, my real name is Michael, and the only person who calls me that is my mother, and, she never fucking calls me, so I don't really relate to it anymore. Literally everyone else just calls me Ethys. My partner calls me Ethys half the time. Blimey. Got me out. Let's go stop for a moment there. Make that a couple of moments. Time for a name change, IRL. Yeah, right. Legal name change. Our friend returned with nary a scratch. Well done. Will this be in State of the Realm? Will what be in State of the Realm? It would seem I misjudged Master Chai. There may yet be hope for you more. The other half is daddy, that's right. It's true.
I can scarcely believe it. It was a reckless, foolish plan, but somehow it worked.
One, building the giant Talos to grab onto Mount Gulg wasn't.
I did it.
Master Chai, I believe I owe you an apology. Your plan to replenish Yulmor's food stores showed forethought and sound judgment. What's more, it is plain your time at Daedalus Stoneworks has equipped you to lead, as evidenced by the extraordinary company you keep. You, sir, are more than qualified to be the next mayor of Yulmor. Yeah, I think so, Huvak. We're doing spoiler cast and 5.1 impressions this weekend. And I'll be on for that.
I thank you for your vote of confidence, but the fact remains I'm wholly ignorant of the world of politics. This is why I would ask you to join me and grant you more the benefit of your counsel.
I would be honored. When the people behold these Talos, I have no doubt they will lend you their support.
It would seem Yulmor's leadership is at last in capable hands, would you not agree? We should probably be getting back soon, Master Chai. After you tinker with the Talos and all that, Lady Chai is worried sick.
It's early in the morning for me, Lestat. It's not like crazy early, but it's early in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, most of the time.
Right then. Form a line and make for Yulmor.
Should we maybe not like go and warn Yulmor so that people aren't thinking they're under attack or something? Yeah, I like his voice actor as well. It's got a lot of personality. I'm waiting for everyone here to be like, oh my god! Oh! It's all over! They're gonna kill us!
What's that noise?
Right? Wouldn't you think their first reaction would be to be fucking terrified?
What? Runaway Talos!
Yeah, there we go.
Call the guard!
Yeah, right?
Stay back! All of you!
Yeah, the villagers aren't too bright, are they?
Is that... Darling, you're back.
But of course I'm back. You didn't see.
Dearest, I can't...
Oh, he's dead.
Oh dear.